Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I will be reviewing episode 4 of Inanimate Insanity season 4 since it came out recently. I will be breaking down plot points in the episode that stuck out to me, then some thoughts on how the story will play out from here, and finally I will rate it out of 10. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Firstly, I was happy that the episode started out from where the last episode left off. None of my theories about where Metag was taking Poppy were correct, but I still found what happened to be very interesting. I'm very intrigued about the purple corn that Metag sent the signal to, and I have some theories about what they may do later in the season, but I'll leave that for when I get into the theories. But seeing themselves in Poppy when they say that
I'm sorry I look like him, okay?
was such a good parallel to Bot's arc in season 3, and I think it hints that the two of them will definitely have more to do with each other in the future, especially with how empathetic Bot is to them. On my first watch through, I was so shocked to see Fang get hit by lightning like that. Like, I seriously wasn't expecting it. Also, what's with that family having all near-death experiences? Like, please give them a break. Anyhow, moving on. I don't have much to say about this part, but yay, toilet mention, I guess. I was pretty sad he wasn't in this episode, to be honest, but I don't hold it against this episode since that's purely my bias. Also, I paused on the game Bible and tried to see if I could find anything interesting with it, but I don't actually have much to note. This paragraph, though, sounds like the stuff that's already happened in the show. I also tried to see if there was any more meaning to this paragraph by putting it into a decoder, but nothing came up, so that was sad. However, I really wish we could see the full opposite page because it seemed interesting. When they cut to Clover and Yin Yang investigating, the bugs on the ground are suspiciously Steve Cobbs and methane coloured. If I were to go on a tangent, maybe this could represent how Cobbs never grew or changed as a person, but the methane coloured bug being a butterfly could show that maybe now that Cobbs is gone, he is now truly able to flourish in new beginnings, hence being a butterfly. Or maybe I'm looking too much into it. When Team Circumspect start to look for clues to find out who the purple corn was, I was so happy they brought out the TV again because I find that really interesting. The news report that we see before Cammy switches the channel I think confirms that Metag was the mole giving the information to the outside world, as we see the footage from their point of view, I think. Also, I should be annoyed at Cammy for changing the channel, but I can't. He's so endearing to me, I love them. Also, this clip
OMG, it's me phone! Where?
had me giggling so much, like, yeah, true. Switching to Team Heavy Metal Pop Stars, even though that idea would turn out not to be a good one, I was happy since it reminded me a little bit of one of my favourite SpongeBob episodes from season 13. I also need to say I love Lightbulb so much here, like, she's so cute. Another thing I found interesting was Taco and Teddy's talk about Meatpad. I think it was such a good scene for them. Also, Taco mentioning that there was counselling immediately made me think whether they offered this to Toilet, because yeah, he needs it, and if they didn't even try to invite him to do this, it would be a little evil. Although either way, I don't think it went well for him, since we can see he's not coping well at all, unlike Taco right now. I hope in the future that they expand on this. Also, the light coming back on after saying he couldn't be fixed was crazy. I mean, yeah, the show literally pointed that out. When OJ is judging Team Circumspect, I literally loved the speech that Cammy made impulsively to try and get them immunity so much. I fear this is what I sound like with my theories, lol. But funnily enough, there is something he said here that will contribute to a theory I have at the end. Switching back to Team Heavy Metal Pop Stars, I found all of their outfits so cool. I love them all so much, and I was also giggling at the song until, yeah, Tapey accidentally played Poppy's Confession. This leads to them being put up for elimination, since when Lightbulb pushes paper it leads to the curtain catching on fire. At the elimination, Poppy spins a wheel and gets immunity, and every vote except for one was for them, so Lightbulb gets out with one vote. Something I find super interesting though, that it's not clear who voted for her since all of them, including Lightbulb, have reasons for voting her out. She pushed paper causing the fire and also brought up evil paper. Tapey maybe didn't want to vote for Poppy after what she did to them, and I think Lightbulb maybe said some things to Guava that he didn't like so much. However, I do think Lightbulb voting herself might actually be the most likely option, since she takes the elimination pretty well, and if you compare the handwriting between this elimination and the last one, her handwriting for the vote for Lightbulb seems to match hers well. Tapey is definitely my second most likely candidate, but she was also the one who asked who voted for Lightbulb, and she did seem upset. Same with Guava, and I don't think people would have voted for Lightbulb given his dislike of Poppy. After the elimination, it cuts back to the TV and the purple corn says that
it was one of Steve's favorites. I really do miss him.
Showing that they definitely have some relation to him and miss him deeply. Then it cuts to Test Tube visiting Fan, and wow, this scene is so heartbreaking, and hearing Test Tube cry like that was so sad. Then it cuts to Bot going to Purgatory Mansion, and then Bo approaches them, and this is the cliffhanger the episode leaves on, which is so crazy. Now that we have gone over the episode, I think I have one theory that I'd like to talk about. I think that the purple corn we see is actually going to try and find the island, and that isn't just some insane thing Cammy made up. In their first appearance, they immediately ask Poppy where they are, and then yeah, they mention that it's an island, and then when they see Fan, they say,
Oh, it's that fan, huh?
So this is the place.
Which really feels like they have been researching into the show, and the way they said it sounded like it was a confirmation of their beliefs. We also see that they are severely missing Cobbs, which could definitely be a motivator to try and find the island. Lastly, although it's presented like a joke from Cammy, they say that
Wave's looking for us and won't rest until he brings Cobb's killers to justice.
Which with the previous points I mentioned doesn't actually seem too crazy to me. Overall, I think it was a really good episode, and I think it's my second favourite out of the season so far. If I were to rate it out of 10, I think I would give it a 9 out of 10, as it really expanded characters well and gave so much promise for future storylines. Let me know in the comments about what you thought about the episode, and thank you for watching.